What I'm going to share with you next is a question that I ended up asking myself quite a lot lately, and which, whether you're conscious or unconscious of it yet, is probably what's at the root of you coming across and watching a video like this to begin with. And that question is, why is it that I do everything that I do? The inquiry into such an existential question obviously doesn't begin with this existential question. For me, actually, the question came more on the side of how much of my life currently is it that I love? How much of what I do is selfless, is for a bigger cause than myself, for other people, and how much of it is selfish? How much of it is self-centered around gain of power, of good feelings, of money, of fame, of status? And I've tried to resolve these questions through a simpler, more practical question, through an exercise which goes a bit like, I'm sure you would have come across this before. If you had all the money and the time that you claim you want for yourself, then what would you still be doing with your life? Furthermore, if you weren't paid for it, and if you weren't recognized or acknowledged for it, what would you be still doing with your life? The answers vary, but they're usually within clear confines, whether it be traveling, spending money, buying stuff, watching Netflix, playing video games. It's usually some sort of consumerism, hedonistic pursuit of pleasure. But that doesn't last. That doesn't seem to last even in rich people or in people who are famous by default, say the children of celebrities. Because if you look at them, you see a trend. They either ultimately eventually end up trying to play catch up with the things that have been handed to them, and maybe making a mark of their own, getting their own success, making their own money, or just running away from that yearning into self-destructive habits. And also, all the same, people who retire successfully, they also seem to derive their satisfaction and enjoyment of life through the contribution that they make in other people's lives, through being good at whatever hobbies they have and things going for themselves. The point is that the doing of stuff doesn't ever really end. For a long period of time, I used to want to be seen for me, for what I thought I was, for my physical appearance, for my intellectual abilities, my personality, and ultimately my achievements. But that wasn't fulfilling, and still isn't. In fact, the more of that I get, the more I feel like I want. It just feels like a losing battle. So I thought, fair enough, maybe I'm not there yet, maybe I haven't got enough of it yet. But if I visualize myself as getting everything that I want, I still feel that that in itself is just not fulfilling. It's just never satisfactory. It just can't be the end of it. In a sense, my wants and desires haven't really changed, but they have been shaped differently. They are shifted in a sense that I no longer see them as the ends themselves, but rather as the byproduct of something completely different, of making a difference in the lives of others, of bringing my own contribution, of adding value, and of serving those around me. So when I started videography, the question that I was asking myself all the time was, how can I best be serving my clients' interests? How can I help them move from their pain to their pleasure, from their A to their B? And how can I mostly impact them positively? And even now, when I write the scripts for these videos, my intention is to leave you with a lasting impact, with a point for inquiry, with a question that can help you in your own journey. This is not to hear myself talk, because I'm pretty objective at assessing that I'm not that interesting. And even if I was, even if there was something to admire in me, when we look at the people we admire, we don't really see those people. In fact, we somehow see ourselves in them, and we project into a future where those things that we admire and have value to us are something that we have acquired and attributed to ourselves instead. And this, I think, brings us closer to the answer. I think that the way we live today is for the why that's there tomorrow. At any point, the reason why we do the things we do is for what we hope to get from having done those things to begin with. We work for money, for respect, for acknowledgement, for appreciation. We watch TV for how it makes us feel, literally as it does it. Our future pulls us towards it into the present, literally as it becomes the present itself. Okay, I'm definitely conscious that I might seem crazy at this point, but if you're watching this, then it means I've gone ahead with it and posted it anyway. And as always, the way and the reason why I think this way is not for itself, but rather as a means to an end. And it's because it helps me examine how the hopes I have for the future and the dreams that I play for now are ultimately shaping my experience of life in the present, which is shaping my actions, and which bring forth that future and my dreams into reality, literally as I perform those actions. And this makes literally anything possible. So this series is about productivity and about action and about what's in the way of action. And as always, I encourage you to sit for a moment and to think about how you feel, to note whether there's a difference in how you feel now versus how you felt before watching this video, and to consider that if something has moved for you in the interim, that's just the effect of the same thing, of hope and of possibility now sort of making that feel like it's one step closer. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Feel free to share with anyone who you think might find this valuable. Subscribe, and until next time, hope this has been helpful. Bye.